Opening up the UFC Vegas 92 main card, we have Themba Gorimbo taking on another very long layoff yet returning Ramiz Brahimaj. And that is how you pronounce it. Themba Gorimbo 12-4 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off back-to-back wins. He's taking on Ramiz Brahimaj, 10-4 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming back after 2 full years outside the cage. So we'll start with that side because a lot of you might not know who he is. But Ramiz Brahimaj is a nasty grappler, a very, very, very good grappler. He doesn't always use it. He doesn't use it as much as he should, but he is a nasty grappler. You might remember him from when he fought Max Griffin and his ear almost fell off of his body. His ear was literally hanging on by a thread. It was disgusting. You might remember him from that. And if you didn't see that, Google it. It is grotesque. And even though he is a very accomplished grappler, as I mentioned, he doesn't always use it. And he does tend to grapple off of his back. And grappling off of your back is a very different game than getting takedowns, hanging out on top, and working from there. All 10 of his wins are by submission, and it is fair to say that he is submission or bust at this point in his career. He is coming back after a full 2-year layoff and a win over Michael Gilmore, where he did not have a nice takedown. He's taking on Themba Gorimbo. This guy shot to stardom when The Rock heard his story and bought him an apartment. But since then, he has showed up. 2 solid wins. And he's coming off a very, very quick one-punch knockout over Pete Rodriguez. But Temba is a distance striker. He manages range well. He likes to pick his shots. He is long for this weight class, and he uses that length pretty well. He'll keep you on the outside. He's typically a counter striker, but he will charge forward when he sees his openings. He's got solid takedown defense where he's going to widen his base. He'll make you carry his weight. And he's got solid offense as well with 5 takedowns in 3 UFC fights. I mentioned he just knocked out Pete Rodriguez with 1 punch. And obviously, anytime you get somebody as good on the ground as Ramiz, he can win by submission, obviously. But I think this sport has progressed beyond some of these submission or bust kind of fighters, especially the guys that don't have the dominant wrestling to back it up. Look what's been happening to Mackenzie Dern. If you don't have the dominant grappling, the dominant wrestling, to get it to the ground to grapple, what are you going to do? I think Themba Gorimbo's takedown defense is far too good. I think he's going to be the better striker here. We did just see some power, but don't expect that. He's not really a power guy. And a 2-year layoff, as I railroaded previous fighters for, is just not good. I think Themba Gorimbo is going to win this fight. I don't know why we're continuing to get a bigger and bigger discount on him. So I've got a bet on Themba Gorimbo at the -130 because I think he wins this fight, and I think that's great value. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, I just want to say that I was the original Temba stan, if you will, because he was my lock of the week.
Wait, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. I was going to ask. Stan is when you like somebody.
Right.
Simp. Stan and simp are the same thing?
Not particularly. But I was he was my lock of the week back in the day. So I do know Temba well. And he has improved his striking since then. He is a grappler at his core. And I wouldn't, to be honest with you guys, I wish I could load up on Temba. I like Temba. I like his mentality. He is a workhorse. He does, slow down. Luckily in this fight, he's not going to slow down as fast as Ramiz. But I'm worried because Temba is a guy that loses situations. He can get taken down. He can lose scrambles. He's a little bit too over-aggressive in those scramble-type situations on the ground. Ramiz, if this was just a straight jiu-jitsu match, I think Ramiz fucking smokes Temba. I think the jiu-jitsu, it's not even close. And in that first round, I think Ramiz is going to be very, very live in these scrambles. Now, Temba's not a quitter. Even if there's something locked in, he's going to try to fight through that situation. He's going to make Ramiz work. He should have the wrestling to kind of get out a lot of these positions. Temba is going to be my pick because he should be way better on the feet. If it gets out of the first round, I feel great about Temba. Even though he will slow down a little bit, he's going to outwork a guy like Ramiz who got outworked by Court McGee. You saw that happen. Temba should be much better than Court McGee. But I'll be damned if I'm not nervous about the first round. I wanted to really load up. And the only thing that really worries me too is I wanted to load up on Temba money line and just hedge it with a Ramiz first round submission. I think it's like plus 300 or something like that. I felt good about that. I almost did it. And then I was like, man, Ramiz has been off for 2 years. What if he does improve the cardio a little bit? This is probably going to be a mostly grappling matchup no matter what. And if this gets in the second round, all of a sudden he's not as tired as we thought. I've also seen Temba slow down too. So it could get interesting in that second round. That's the only reason I didn't play it that way. I think I might just stay away from this. Root for Temba. He should be able to get it done, but I think there's going to be a spot or two in that first round where people are going to be worried, and he could run into a situation.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, we all have our biases. Mine are against grapplers who can't wrestle and long layoffs. And so this is just a perfect storm. A grappler who can't wrestle with a long-ass layoff. He's in that last fight, and it was against Michael Gilmore. But in that last fight, he did have a beautiful, that was a nice takedown.
He had some nice timing against Court, but Court can defend. I mean, he had won a beautiful level change to a double, and then Court just kind of just sucked it back, and he couldn't get it. But, I mean, you could see that he knew what he was doing at least.
Yeah, well, but Temba, I don't 100% disagree. He's not Mackenzie Dern. It's not pathetic, the wrestling, but it's not as good as I think it'll need to be, because Temba does a really good job. He will spread his legs wide like Sean Woodson does, and he will just lean on your head and make it very hard.
Honestly, I'm not even worried about Temba getting taken down. I'm worried about Temba is going to take this guy down.
He's not control himself?
Yeah, and get too aggressive, and all of a sudden this dude's on your back, and that's a fucking bad thing to have happen.
Like when Corey Poppins' dumbass shot a takedown almost immediately.
Yeah, if I'm Temba, if I'm Temba, I don't grab. He's not gonna do it, but I wouldn't grapple at all. You can probably just knock this guy out or hurt him enough to where once you do start grappling, at least he's tired at that point. If Temba's shooting a takedown the first minute, I mean, MMA Masters has got to clean some shit up.
Do you know why he has that 2-year layoff? I didn't find it Googling super quick, but I just Googled the person's name and
he had
layoff.
A grappling match like 20 weeks ago on his Instagram. He said, my first match since my injury. So it's injury.
Yeah, all right. Did he win?
Yeah. I think he's a no-gi world.
Yeah, he's like a world champion. No, he's an outstanding grappler. It's not even close. I still do like Temba at -130, so I do have that bet. I think it was a half a unit, something like that. And I just placed that today because that line continues to shrink. I don't think it's going to stay shrunk. I think it'll start to widen a little bit. And I do think the UFC did this match. I think the UFC wants to push Temba a little bit. He's got a great story. He is a fun guy. He is getting more and more entertaining in the octagon as well in his fight style. But we got $8,400 in DraftKings, $7,800 in DraftKings. This is probably a pick your side. If you're on the Ramiz side, he will more than cover his salary. And if you're on the Temba side, it's a little riskier because if he doesn't grapple, that's up to striking. But I do think Temba will cover his salary well. He does cover in all of his fights. Oh, I thought you were going to say, man, no, I thought I handled that timing perfect. I paused and everything.
I was with the pause, but then it seemed like you were going to say something too. But I was going to say, I mean, I think either one of these, like you said, I think Ramiz is going to win the first, or Temba could probably win in the second, honestly. Just wear this guy out.
Ramiz does fade a little bit. Ramiz. But if you do want to check out that bet that I just told you about for free, you could pay for it. You could go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. It's only $10 for an entire month, and it's not just a couple of bets. It's 5 people's worth of bets. More. You got the 3 people at Running Mouth MMA. You got Artem. That gets you to 4. You got Jacob. That's 5. You got me. That's 6. And then you have the artificial intelligence that picks the fights. And then we are developing betting systems around those picks. All of that and so much more. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only freaking $10 an entire month. We do got a couple of Super Chatterooskis. $5 from Jay Feel. You guys make DFS and gambling fun. I look forward to every video. Jacob, let's hope for a 7-game series.
Yeah, Jay Feels a Knicks fan, unfortunately.
Oh,
but he can't.
Oh, so he wants to win it at home?
He can't help that.
What's actually after game 4, it alternates every game, right? Where it is?
It does. You know, they used to not do that until the finals. It used to be 2-3-2. Which was very interesting because if you were the higher seed,
3 at home, yeah.
If you're the higher seed and you dropped one of those first 2 games, you were in big fucking trouble. But it was because of like TV and travel and all. It was just easier to just go 2-3-2, and then once they got to the finals, they went 2-2-1-1-1 because they could spread it out a little bit more. But now it's much better with 2-2-1-1-1 every.
That is funny because you kind of give up the home advantage if you're doing 3 games.
And the first round was only 5 games too, which is interesting too because 7. If you play 7, the better team's going to win 98% of the time in a 7-game series based on, except for like injuries or something like that. 5 games, things can get fucking weird.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a giant basketball guy, but sports. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Jay Field. We genuinely appreciate that. Saying we make DFS and gambling fun. That's the goal. I mean, we're out here breaking this stuff down, trying to give you the best possible picks, best possible bets, and everything else. We're trying to make that happen. Holy shit. I'll share this with you in a little bit. So if we're making the night a little bit more fun for you, then congratulations and thank you so much. Big Capper explained what a stan is. That came from the Eminem song, I guess. I remember that song. So thank you very much for that explanation. And then Prominent Talent, $1.99, become a premium member for only $10 a month. Well, I appreciate you for the two, and I appreciate you plugging premium there as well. Before you go, let me give you $50. Anybody who goes to wewantpicks.com/bets and signs up with any one of our affiliate partners gets $50 as a thank you. Use the link, sign up, make a deposit. We send you $50 as a thank you.